Oh, that is not a good start. Hey guys, this is gamercal playing Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, and yeah, that was a bad start. Whatever. We're going to go with Luigi, as I said, and start tournament time. It's about time we ended this, I suppose, and the end is with the beginning of the last game mode. I don't know, it's kind of weird. But yeah, this has to be played from the back tees, as you can see. Lakitu Star Cup is what we're gonna do as I'm moving myself around. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. The course itself is the same, but what is that blue thing you see over there? Well, that is actually the green. And this is where things get pretty weird. The thing with Star Cup is that it kind of plays on tournament greens, which as you will see soon are absolutely horrible to play on, and I really dislike it, but you know, it's just there, not much you can really do. Yeah, see, I'm really comfortable with Luigi and that sort of character range because their bar moves much slower, I suppose, and it's just really easy for me to use, but oh well. Best drive, yeah, it's a whole new set of tournaments, there's a whole new set of best badges as well, but we're not going to bother too much about that, I don't think. Now, the thing is, with this mode as well, the other thing you can notice, the wind is a lot more severe than it was the last time we played Lakitu, because when we played Lakitu last time, there was no wind. This time there is, and there's very, very strong wind, so yeah. As you can hopefully appreciate, we only have half the bar instead of 3/4 of the bar to putt with, and this surface rolls a hell of a lot more than it did before. So topspin is usually a very, very terrible idea on this surface. Super backspin is a pretty terrible idea on this surface, and yeah, it's tricky. The other thing is the AI tends to play a lot closer to you than they did before. Now, you can see everybody down until 13th place is on even par at the moment, and that's kind of funny. Shy Guy, you are terrible. Salvatore, aren't you the dude that was in, which one was it? Wind Waker, the guy that had the cannonball minigame. I'm sure that was him. Anyway, yeah, you can see 7 meters per second wind. That would be the equivalent of about 15 to 16 miles per hour. So that's there for you American peoples, I guess, that play the NTSC version. Because yeah, there is, as we've said before, differences. So, whatever. But yeah, this tournament green setting is the real hard part. I mean, the back tees are not usually terrible to play from. There are some holes which are really annoying to play back tees on, but most of them aren't that bad. It's mostly the hills which are... that was terrible control, but I think it might turn out okay. It's going downhill, so yeah. You can see even that is a big freaking backspin push there, considering... yeah, this is not going in. Can almost guarantee you that this is not going in, because it's pretty hilly. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll strike lucky. No, you see the hill at the end just kind of took it. It's much harder to judge hills on the surface where the bars are much further apart, because yeah, there's not a whole lot of scope for me to look at it properly. You know, if the bars are further apart, then that means the hill gradient is harder to see, and so it just makes it more difficult than it needs to be. Anyway, it's raining, which means I'll get 3/4 of my putting bars, so I'll actually have the same as normal greens when it's not raining. Which is kind of dumb, to be honest, but what can you do? Well, you can hit the shot you were aiming to hit. That is a good start, and very, very nice. Good stuff here. I'm not expecting this tournament to go badly. I'm not expecting Shifting Sands to go that badly. I'm kind of expecting Toot to go badly because I'm using Bowser, and that's going to be interesting. But, yeah. Also, you don't unlock anything by getting all the best badges in star settings, as far as I know. it might well be something in the NTSC version that you'll get, say, you might get the ace difficulty by doing it. Who knows? I don't think so. As far as I know, ace difficulty doesn't exist in the NTSC version, and nobody's ever told me otherwise, but whatever. We dodged a bunker, of course, which was good, thanks to the really strong wind behind us there, and that's kind of helpful. I don't want to end up on the top of that hill, so I'm going to aim down here. Hope that the wind takes it a little bit, and that should be okay. You've really got to be very careful with your spins on this one. You do not want to spin too much on this surface. That was a beautiful shot. Very nice shot there. You know, now that I think about it, another subtle difference between this and the NTSC version, I think, is that you can't... There's a minimum shot distance that I can hit putts, which on this surface is 6 foot, but I'm pretty sure you can actually set the bar lower when you're playing the other version, which is kind of funny. Oh, this hole. Ideally I would want to be hitting over here, but I don't think Luigi can get there, can he? Is it worth the risk? Mostly because if I do hit this well enough, I can topspin out of the rough. So yes, I think it is. I just need to hit this basically perfectly. Which I have not done, so that was a terrible idea in the end, but oh well. It's all the execution rather than the idea, which was bad, to be honest. And, well, it's still kind of alright, I guess. I can still make it to fairway, which is always good. I was hoping to be able to get to the green in 2, because if I'd have landed on the fairway, I'd have been able to do that, but oh well. I still made a half decent shot there. We're still, yeah, just under 70 yards away. That hill is pretty sharp, so I'm gonna look to hit about here, I think, when I judge it right. Yep. And that's slightly under hit, but I think it should be okay. Whoa, that was big slowdown from the game there. I don't know what it was trying to do, but yeah, that didn't end up being as good as it should have been because it didn't go down the hill at all. Damn it. Oh yeah, see, this is again going to be one of those sort of putts, especially because it's all downhill as well, so it's really hard to judge. I think that might be too hard. Yeah, too hard for how much I'd moved it. I was hoping to hit it softer than that, but apparently I didn't time it very well, so whatever. So yeah, as you can see, it's much harder than it was before. Even though we are using a stronger character, the settings make it much more difficult to hit from. So it's nowhere near as easy as it was the first time we played. However, we do get the cooler music, so I am happy with that. It's kind of funny. The basic tournament mode, I think, is the only game mode which actually has the music which plays during it, if that makes sense, because you've got Ring Attack, I think, has its own music, Coin Attack has its own music, and Stroke Play plays the same songs as this game mode. Some of the courses have the same music in both modes, mind you, but yeah, it's kind of funny, and I've underhit this by quite a bit, so I'm going to use the top spin, which is probably a bad idea. I think I probably ended up about as far away as I would have done if I didn't hit it. Maybe it was a slightly bad idea, but oh well. I think this will do. It is downhill, so I don't need to hit it that much. And that will do quite nicely, straight down the centre.
Very well done.
Still a -4 from hole 6, that is good. You can see DK, the one playing with us though, is right near at -3, and that's something we will see most of the time, unless you really play well. Most of the time the computers do tend to stick with you quite a long time, so yeah, that is a feature of this mode, and my super backspin might be a bad idea. I'm thinking I'm hitting this pretty far, and it is in the rain, so I actually needed the super backspin because normal backspin wouldn't have hit far enough. So yeah, just keeping on with the birdies, that's always good. We have seen a little bit of what makes this surface bad. We've not seen a whole lot of it yet because obviously the hills on this particular course are still not that bad even when you're playing in Star Tournament form. So yeah, the greens are actually hillier in Star Tournaments as well, so the hills are more exaggerated, I think. So you've really got to adjust for them much more. It's far harder than it is in the Game Boy Advance version, that's for sure. It's harder than it is in the original on the N64 as well, so yeah. But then again, the N64 one didn't have tournament greens, so yeah, that's a difference in its own right. The normal backspin I think should be enough to stop this before it goes too far. Super might have been a good idea, but I don't think it would have gone in because it was rolling this way, so it probably would have actually gone too far. And then it would have gone down the hill, and then I would have been sad because that would have been a difficult putt, but it wasn't difficult because it didn't go down the hill. So, what are we looking at the moment? We're 2 shots ahead of DK, who is the one playing with us, that is good. And we are on the par 5. It is unfortunately quite a long par 5 though, and I'm not going to be able to get there in 2 unlike last time. I don't think, because yeah, I would need 2 shots of an average of 260 yard. I don't think I can hit the second shot of 260 yard. But there is no wind though, which is rare. So maybe with this being downhill, I might be able to get there. Because that first shot there was pretty big. Yeah, I can actually make it, so that is good. Controlling this shot afterwards, however, is not going to be quite so easy, but if I hit this perfect, I'll super backspin. And I have not hit it quite perfect, so standard backspin should do. In fact, the standard backspin might not have even been necessary, but that's what I've hit. Yeah, I didn't need to hit normal backspin. I'd have landed the green if I just hit basic shots, no spin, but oh well. I think this is doable. I say that as if it's not really that possible. It's definitely possible, it's just you're hitting off of a lot of fringe first, and then you're going on to this fast rolling surface. It's very difficult to judge how much power you need to give it to get off the fringe, because the fringe is very friction based. It's like putting off the fairway basically. It's, well, it's not quite as bad as that, but it's when you're putting off of this, it really slows the ball down an awful lot. You've got to hit it a good deal harder, especially because it's uphill as well. So I'm actually just going to hit pretty well full power, and as you can see there was enough to get it there, but the hill kind of took it a bit, which was unfortunate. Yeah, just underjudged the hill, and well, that's an eagle chance missed, but that is fine because we're still getting birdie, and yeah, that's good enough. 7 under of the first 9 holes is good. DK is still only 4 under, so we should win this one fairly comfortably. I don't think there's going to be too many issues with winning this. However, I have seen the computers go as far as -12 before, so I wouldn't discredit DK just yet. Because if you do, that is when you are going to get messed up, because that's when they're going to start piling on the birdies and stuff. See, if you play poorer though, they don't tend to score quite so high, so you can quite often get away with -3, -4 as a winning score, rather than -12 or something. So it really depends on how you play as to how well the computer plays as well, which is quite interesting to be honest. And that was a pretty good shot as well. We've gotten into a decent area, there's not too much of a hill, so this one should be quite easy. Yep. Nice, easy, almost straight putt. And yeah, that's -8 on hole 10. That is pretty good, I would say. Kind of unfortunate that we didn't get the eagle as well, but yeah, it's not important. As you can see though, DK went up another shot. How is a Goomba at -4? Daisy, you are playing with and getting beaten by a Goomba. Step your game up, woman. That is horrible. Also, double blubber plus 22. That's kind of hilarious. Okay, so this hole. This hole, I'm just going to hit this. There's not very much wind again, which is rare. Well, I mean, the wind can vary from the full spectrum, and usually it's pretty high. As you see, most holes, it's an average of 6-ish. 5 or 6 tends to be about the average. But some of the holes do give you low winds, and it's completely random, so yeah. Have fun with that, basically. Control is of course not really an issue because we're playing with Luigi, and it sticks pretty well perfectly. That's also going to be a very easy birdie. So, yep. Even from the back tees, most of the holes for star characters are not really very long at all, so even the likes of Luigi can score pretty well on this course with getting greens in regulation quite often. This hole, on the other hand, is a bit of a problem because Luigi curves the wrong way, so that tree is... well, that tree is bothersome no matter how you curve the ball, but it's definitely a problem for Luigi because of how he spins. And this free iron is not going to stop very quickly, but super backspin with this lower power and accuracy is a bad idea. Damn it, tree! This is why trees suck. However, the one good thing about this green is because it does roll much further, your approaches can become easier because the ball will roll much more. As you can see, I almost chipped that in with a fairly terrible shot actually. I was planning on top spinning it with weaker initial power. Didn't quite work out like that, but yeah, see, DK's gotten a shot back on us there, so he's not out yet. We are only 3 shots up, we are not that far ahead. Look how freaking far away this is, I cannot make that in 2 shots. I'd need to be using somebody like Daisy to get there in 2 shots. Especially because it favours draw characters and I'm using a fake character and that doesn't help. Nevertheless, we are still going to get there in 3 shots, it's quite easy to make in 3, so... most par 5s are quite easy to make in 3 shots, even with this star character regime. Some of them can be tricky, it really depends on how far you can hit. That was a terribly controlled shot, but because it's Luigi, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. I'm probably going to be playing from the rough though. Yeah, playing from the rough, that's okay because it's an approach shot. You can see this is a nice flat area before the pin. It's a little bit of a hill here though, so I'm going to hit that. And this should be good enough. We hit this, and it just missed the pin. But you can see that rolled really far, so you've really got to be careful with how much you hit these balls on this surface. Your ball from a 9-10 yard approach, you'll probably roll about 3 of that. So be careful, basically. That's with a sand wedge as well. This isn't even trying to use a loft club, and what the hell is it giving me here? Dude, what? So this hole clearly doesn't favour fade shots by anyone's standards. There is no wind as well though. That is something, and once again, the capture card thing has decided it's not going to give me any sound anymore. That's really dumb. Whatever, I've hit the tree. That's also really dumb. No! Damn it, tree! Why? Why must you be in the way so much? Can I drill straight through this? I could, but I'm gonna get nowhere for it. Dang it! Can't really get very much of anywhere anymore. This is annoying. Well, I guess we'll just have to deal with it. That was an absolutely terrible shot though. Can I even make it to the green from here? I might actually have to take a bogey on this hole because of hitting the tree at the start. That is awful. I can definitely hit this shot, but it's not going to be easy. Minus 7%? Are you serious, game? Really? You're giving me minus 7 on that? What the hell? RNG screwed. Completely RNG screwed, because now there's no way I'm getting this. It's 6.3 foot uphill, 64 foot putt over this sort of hill from the fringe. No, that's not possible. I'm just going to hit this and hope. Yeah, not hard enough. When I hit it about 12 foot harder than it needed to be normally. That is shocking. Well, I completely screwed up that one. So yeah, we got a bogey and freaking DK got a birdie, so he's only 2 shots behind us. As I said, don't discount them too quickly. Why... Game, why are you giving me the useless shots here? That was with a 4 iron, what the hell? Dude, anyway, that one tree there is also in the way and that sucks, but we'll deal with it when we get there.
Nice shot.
This is just not going the best ever, is it? And yeah, it was going so well until that freaking hole 14. That hole 14 is not even hole 13, so I don't understand why it went so badly, but oh well. This shot's pretty terrible as well. It's underpowered and the topspin's going to take it too far. This is the problem with this surface. If you don't hit the shot exactly as you needed it, you're either going to be too short or you're going to go too far because you try and topspin correct it. So yeah. The negative percentage probably did make a bit of a difference there because I did overhit that sort of on purpose just to try and make sure that it would go in. And we have maintained a good lead here. Goomba is still in 3rd. Daisy, what are you doing? Seriously, you're getting beat by a Goomba. That's just terrible. And this one is overhit but missed accuracy, therefore I've kind of just left it. I probably should have backspun it. That was kind of my idea in the first place. I sort of didn't quite press the button in time, because as you see, this is rolled way too far now. And this is going to be an impossible putt to make. Joy! There's more hills going to, more hill lines going to the left and the right, so I'm going to hit this. I'm going to hit it at just about full power, and is this going in? Oh goodness, it went in! That was a beautiful thing. Just rolled and rolled, and yeah, I managed to judge it just enough to sink it in. That was an awesome putt. It's one of the better putts. It's probably the best putt of this round so far, and freaking DK got a birdie there as well. Jeez, he's up -8. The computers on normal tournaments, if you remember, couldn't even score under par basically at the end of them. And here he is with DK scoring freaking -8, and we've still got 2 holes to play. And he'd have an advantage on this one as well, because look at that distance, 566 yards. There's no way that I can hit this in 2. Absolutely no way. The minimum sort of character shot distance you'd be looking at would probably have to be Birdo to hit this. So yeah, don't even bother trying with Luigi to hit this. It just isn't gonna work. So yeah, you're looking at 3 shots to get onto the green regardless, but then again it's... oh, look at this though. This hill is the worst thing ever. Like, how do you judge this? Seriously. This is about the best I can think of doing, is to try and land this, hit the side of it and backspin there. Super backspin would have been a better call, but I guess the normal backspin kind of did enough, because this is definitely makeable. Yes, makeable it is. And makeable it was. So we have hit 13 birdies so far, which is very, very nice. I'm definitely happy with that. And we have a 4-shot lead. DK's probably going to birdie the last hole. They do tend to birdie the last hole. So yeah, you've got to be careful of that. But it doesn't matter too much so long as I don't like double bogey this. And considering the green is right there, I don't see me double bogeying this somehow. Gotta be careful though, there's a lot of hills there, so don't take this one for granted either. Of course, if you were using a really, really long drive character like Bowser, probably DK, PT Piranha, maybe DK, you'd be able to hit this in 1 shot. DK's shot might be a bit too low to do it though, so don't rely on it, but you might be able to hit this green in one go. And I've undershot this, and it's a minus percentage, so I have put the top spin on. And because it was going uphill, it wasn't terrible, but I think it still went further away than if I left it alone. So as I mentioned already, top spin is not really a great idea on this surface, but this putt is pretty flat, so it shouldn't make too big of a difference. And apparently it did. How? You saw that, right? There were no hill lines to the side of that. There was the one tiny hill line right at the very start of my thing, which I adjusted for. There were 0 hill lines going to the side. There is no way that should have missed. If there are no hill lines going to the side, that means there is no hill going to the side. No hill going to the side means that it should not swerve to the side. Yet it did. The game lied. That's the only thing we can say. Anyway, minus 12 on the first tournament, that is pretty good. I think minus 12 tends to be about the best I can hit on star tournaments most of the time, even with the longer drive characters which have the scope of getting eagles on some of the longer par 5s. The lack of control kind of means, yeah, minus 12 is about my best. But it's a good score nonetheless, and when you beat star tournaments you get to unlock the tournament greens for the course. Which basically means now, what I'll show once this is done, is that when I go into stroke play and coin... Does it do it in coin attack? I don't know if it does it in coin attack. Stroke play, club slots... I'm sure there was another one that done it for as well. Doubles play, obviously. Yeah, match play, there we go, that's the other one it would do it for. You can now play on the tournament greens, not just in star tournaments. So you can practice them now. Which is after the fact, so it's kind of pointless, but you know. Just as a quick show, character match, whatever, just put it Luigi, and yes, you can switch the greens so you can play on the faster tournament greens. And now you can see the ball speed thing there, that just sort of indicates that tournament greens are much faster, not that we didn't know that already. So yeah, this has been Toad falling all over the place, and gamercal has been playing, not Toad falling all over the place, but Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, and join us next time when we go into not Toad falling. Thank God for that, we're playing the Cheap Cheap Star Tournament next time. So yeah, see you for that then.